What is going on, people, and welcome back to Total Hotspurs. And 7 points from nine, 2 wins and a draw, and we are back with Ange Ball, people. Um, First of all, before we get started, guys, on this live reaction, we're going to be changing things up this season, depending on what we can do, considering our jobs. So, couldn't do a watch along today, so we're doing a live reaction. But before we do, make sure you are liking and subscribing to the channel. And please hit the comments up below on how you think the game went. But D, another game, another win.
Mm.
What's going on with Tottenham at the moment?
Yeah, I asked you the same question. No, look, it was a great game. A lot of possession in our favour. Yeah, we just looked so fluent. We didn't look out of place. I think we just carried that game from Manchester United to Bournemouth, and we just played to our strengths, and it was very good to watch. Very, the crowd was into it. I think we were all into it. Even though we did do a watch along, but we were all into it. So, yeah, man, like I'm happy.
Yeah, well, big up MVR always here. Um, Big up yourself, MVR. Sorry, just had a bit of a sound issue there. Um, Welcome, brother. Hope you enjoyed that game. 2-0 was the final score, Tottenham v Bournemouth. And I didn't get to watch the first half, guys. I was actually, if I wasn't getting food poisoning from the Indian shop or the Indian restaurant that we went to for dinner, I was sitting there watching Barbie. Um, yes, I know I'd much rather be at home, but date night with the missus had to, do what she wanted because she always lets me do stuff like this. So
Mm.
D, I want you to give me a rundown first of all how the first half went because I did watch the second half, but I didn't get to watch the first half, and obviously Madison scored his first goal for the club.
Mm.
But let me know how it went.
Yeah, so obviously started off pretty. Um, I think we had most of the possession in that first half. Obviously, Richarlison had a couple of glimpses. Had a couple of, he could have had a couple shots on target, but I don't know what he just lost his footing in a couple of them. But Saar looked really good. Him and Basuma working really well. Same with Madison. Um, Kulu's looking really good as well. Um, and also, yeah, look, it was very interesting first half, obviously, and then I think it was I can't remember what minute it came in, but that ball from Saar just to pick out Madison for that goal. I mean, this kid is a gem. This kid is gonna be a gem for us. Like he's just so good, man. Like he just picked out this pass for Madison. I don't know how. I didn't think it was gonna go through, but it went through, and lucky Madison got a foot to it, and yeah, it went to the back of the net. Neto was not stopping that. You know, I mean, I was hoping Richarlison would be on the end of that, but Madison had to play a lot better than what Richarlison did. So I mean, that was a great goal for Madison. His first goal for Tottenham, and if you saw at his celebration, he did the darts because he likes darts. So, I mean,
He loves his darts, good old Matty.
he, he loves his darts. So, I mean, look, yeah, look, I think we're all happy that he scored his first goal for Tottenham. Yeah, couldn't ask for a really better goal from him. But no, but besides all that, I just think our defense. I was gonna pick up our defense, Romero and Mickey Van de Ven. Like Romero has changed. He's a different player to what he was under Conte. He's not rash. He made some great tackles. He's made some. Same with Van de Ven. Like Van de Ven looks like I know the first game he was a bit shaky, but just against United, against Bournemouth, he just looked decent on the ball. And we got to big it up to Vicario. He looks so good on his feet than Lloris does. I think he looks more comfortable on the ball and looks more, the ball to his feet than Lloris does. Lloris has his moments where he can go and just doesn't pick out a pass. Where Vicario just looks like he can find a pass, kicks it out, and then he wants the ball at his feet. So I mean, look, I'm really happy with our defense. I'm really happy with it, man. I got to big it up to the defense. They're just doing. Romero and Van de Ven look like a awesome pairing. best. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself saying they're gonna be the next Toby and um, um Yan, because it's still a long way from that. Still a long way to become that Belgium brick wall. But yeah, I just think all around, I think from the first half, I think look, there was a couple of shaky moments where Porro did look a bit shaky, but then he grew into the game a little bit more. Um, yeah, look, all around, I think just the first half was just we could have got a couple more goals if Richie just got his foot to it. I mean, we could have got if he got his foot to the ball, I think he would have got a goal. But you know what Richie's like. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think just that first half we went in with that Madison goal. I think we were confident we were going to get it. We were confident going into the second half we were going to get another one. So I mean, look, um, yeah, look, there wasn't really much. I think Bournemouth did have a couple of shots on target. I was a bit worried about there, but at the same time, I think Romero and Van de Ven had that covered. So, and plus, you got to look at their height too. They got a lot of height in that team. So I mean, Billing and who was it? Who's our striker? Uh,
Solanke.
like that's it. Fucking
Yeah.
mind blowing. I'm looking at a brain fart then.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I just think all around, yeah, it was a great first half.
Yeah, well, see, I can't comment. Like I said, I didn't watch the first half.
Mm,
I did watch the highlight of Madison's goal. It was a great pick out by Sarr. This
mm,
kid is slowly starting to really become one of my favorite players. His energy, um, and his desire, and the fact that he's not scared to try the big plays.
yeah,
Um, but in the second half, I felt like a few players did drop off from what I was hearing. There is one person though that I really want to do big up, man. You mentioned the defense, but how good is Adoji? How
oh
good is
mate,
Destiny Adoji? I
oh
don't know Envia if he was hit by something in the crowd. I couldn't see when I was watching. I
yeah,
think he may have, but I think him coming off was just a precaution. Didn't need
yeah,
to keep him on. Um, they were getting very physical on him towards the back end. As you
mm,
saw the Perisic and the Max Aaron's altercation there when on the sideline towards the end. But Adoji is a. Everyone was questioning if this kid's going to make it in the Prem, and this kid is definitely going to make it. He is the future. Like I think, like Italy have got a great left back in him, and he reminds me a hell of a lot of um, when Danny Rose was in his prime, when he just seemed to just beat everyone, and the way he comes into midfield um, and carries the ball, and he's not scared to carry the ball, playing um, left back at times to come inside and allow, the guys on the left to provide it. But I did see that it looked like Sun and like the front three had a poor first half yet again.
yeah, they did. Yeah, I think Sonny just wasn't on it. I think he just really needs to. He's really needs to just lift this game a little bit more. He's the captain of our team. He's the leader. I think he just really needs to Um, just try to get in there and involve himself a bit more. I just don't think he just wasn't involving himself a bit more, and yeah, that kind of was lacking. I mean, like I say for Decky, he was having one of those games as well. So I mean, yeah, I think it's just our front three are just not. Once they start firing, I think they will start coming together. I think once Sun starts firing and Decky starts firing, then we can start seeing where the goal's going to come from. It's just
Well,
getting them started and firing. That's the problem.
I don't know how Richarlison was in that first half, but what I saw in that second half, I don't want to see him play on Wednesday. I don't want to see him play the next four games. I did say in my prediction that I wanted him to have for the next two or three games, and if he doesn't score, then maybe switch it. But that second half, he was poor. I understand he was in full stride when he trapped that ball and lost it, but he should have done it. He should have released Kulu earlier when he lost the ball on the counter. Um, Richie just seems to be trying too hard. I feel like we need to take him out of the limelight. And when Perisic came on, Adoji and Perisic, that pairing there for me is key. Perisic is confident in Adoji. He's doing the back heel or the scissor bloody passes. He's doing the 1-2s of a Doji, and he's trusting this kid. Didn't trust fucking Sessegnon like that.
Nah,
Wouldn't have trusted Regulon like that.
nah.
Doesn't really trust Davies like that, but he trusts Doji. And for me, I also think it's like the Italian kind of
Connection.
connection where he came from Inter, Perisic. Obviously knows Italian, so would have put him under his shoulder. Vicario, another Italian. Um, for me, I think we take Richie out. If not for the Fulham game, definitely for the Burnley game.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I think so as well.
and we'll give bigs up to Decky. And there's one comment that MVR made a little bit earlier was could see how much the goal meant for Decky. And for me, Decky's been a confidence player. Now, if some of you saw me last night on the Hotspur Hood, I was having a back and forth with Elias from Tip Up Spurs because he was saying to me that Sonny has still, the best player that we have performed to the best. The reason why I think Decky's so poor right now is because in that run where Sun was so crap, Decky wasn't much better, but Sun was horrible, and we just bought Richarlison. Decky was the one getting dropped, not Sun. For me, it should have been the other way around, and that hit his confidence massively.
Mm.
He hasn't recovered.
No.
This goal, and if Ange trusts in him and keeps him on, this goal could be Cooley coming back to what we saw the first 6 months.
Mm.
But for me, I don't want to see Richie in that team come. If he plays against Fulham, by all means, but I don't want to see him against Burnley.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
no.
I think Son, Perisic, and Kulu is the way to go. In that second half, though, I do feel like our midfield slowed down. I feel like the game's caught up with him, like the amount of running and pressing and passing that we do. Basuma looked like to slow down, and that Semenyo, drifted past him a couple of times. It was a bit worrying. But as you said before, that defense, Romero and Van de Ven handled everything that was thrown at him. Porro didn't allow much to go past him,
No.
even if they were running at him. Doji didn't let much pass. We have a solid back four, and I'm going to say it: Porro over Royal every day. Porro
Mm.
provides more going forward. And the thing is he was doing what Romero was doing. He was shooting out and stopping the pass when the player was receiving the ball. Multiple
Mm.
times he won the ball by shooting out and stealing the ball before a defender got it.
Yeah.
Romero's stopped doing that like consistently, but every time he's done it, he's timed it well. Van de Ven, comfortable on the ball, strong. He knows he's got pace, so he allows the defender to try and get around him, and he times his tackles to perfection. This kid times his tackles to perfection.
Yeah.
We have a player. We have a dead set player in that Van de Ven, a Doji, Papa Matasar, and I'm going to give Vicaria big ups again. Didn't really have much to do.
No.
Did in the second half especially? One shot by Semenyo hit the side of the net. He knew it was going out. Didn't need to dive for it. Chucked to Lloris where he just stood there watching. But overall, I am happy with the way we're going. Um, you know,
Yeah.
audio. What elbow is that? What to Van de Ven? Was there an elbow to Van de Ven? Was it
Yeah, there
Solanke
was.
did it?
Yeah, Solanke did it. It was elbow to. Yeah, I think without both
Oh,
going for the
okay,
ball.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look,
I think I did
I feel
see
like
that.
there was a few. Pretty much, there was a few. See, for me, that Perisic and Aaron's kind of situation. I mean, in that situation, like Perisic was
Hey,
just.
hold on, D. I'm going to cut you right there.
Sorry, mate.
MVR and
Are
Brad
you
just said
serious?
Forest are 2-0 up against United already.
Oh
It's
my
been 7
days!
minutes. Oh my
Oh
god.
my day! Oh
Oh
my
my
days! Oh
days.
my days! I'm saying right now, Dan, if you're watching us and watching the game, I feel so sorry for you right now, man.
And Fulham are 1-0 up against Arsenal
Oh fuck!
at the
Come
point in
on,
time.
Fulham.
Currently, guys, I just don't want to get a big head because obviously Brighton and City haven't played yet. But we top of the league. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Just fucking with you. Currently, we
Yeah,
are sitting top of the league at the moment.
yeah, yeah.
But just a
At the
joke,
moment.
guys. Carry on.
Yeah, no, but look, I just think that situation between Max Aarons and Perisic, I think, look, I mean, Perisic shouldn't have done that, but at the same time, Max Aarons was like grabbing on him as well, trying to stop him because you knew Perisic has the pace to beat him on the outside. So, I mean, I think it was kind of 50-50, but at the same time, I think Perisic shouldn't have thrown that fist in his face. I mean,
No, I don't think so. I think he grabbed his shirt and kind of shoved him away to say like piss
yeah,
off. But the
yeah,
fact that I even looked at it for a red card is ridiculous. Like Aaron's was all over him. It should have been a free kick to Perisic before
yeah,
that. And how they like this is how what I don't understand. They were looking at the red card, but Aaron's already made the foul prior. So
yeah,
even if
yeah,
Perisic knocked him out, it doesn't really matter. You're going back to the foul. I mean, it does matter because physical violence. You can't have that in the game, but it's so inconsistent. But I will say I felt like the ref, well, from my view of the second half, the ref was very fair.
yeah,
Didn't overcomplicate it. Didn't do stupid shit. Just allowed the game to flow. And I'll give it to Bournemouth. They came at us in the second half, especially in the first 20 minutes,
yeah, yeah,
putting a lot
yeah,
of pressure. But then again, we go back to the back four, like you said before. They handled the pressure.
mm,
Vicario handled the pressure. We marshaled them out. Um, I think it was really smart changing our midfield three. Hoiberg played, a couple of misplaced passes. However, he defended well, was in the right position. Skippy, same thing, didn't really do too much, but was in the positions that he needed to be.
yeah,
Lasalso looked like he was like a bit janky first couple of touches. Put some beautiful balls in behind the line for the likes of Sun and for Kulu. Um, you know, I, overall, I'm happy with the team performance. I do
yeah.
want that front three to start clicking.
Mm.
For me, Perisic has to start on that left hand side from now
I
on,
think
and
Perisic, yeah,
Sun through the middle.
I think Perisic just brings a lot. Perisic just brings a lot more quality. You know, he's both footed. He can go off his left. He can go off his right. Like you see when he did to Max Aaron, he turned
He
Max
should have
Aaron's like
scored
inside. He should have scored. He turned Max Aaron's inside
inside
out.
out, yeah. And the only reason why he scuffed that shot was because he pushed it too far when he was going to hit it with
Yeah,
his left, and
yeah,
he hooked it. He hooked it. He scuffed it. I
yeah,
think that would have been a beautiful goal, and I'm impressed with how Perisic has kind of taken on board the fact that the manager that he wanted to sign for gone,
yeah.
and he's put his head down and he's knuckled hard. And audio right here, I'm exactly the same.
I've.
I
This is
watched this
what.
at the
This.
back and I
This
didn't
is
feel
what.
nervous.
This is what I was saying before. When Dyer and Romero in that back, well, when they're in that back three with Davies, and we've said it to ourselves before. We've said it on this channel as well. Dyer does not make a tackle, even with his head going down. He will not make a tackle. And with Van de Ven and Romero now, the pairing, it just looks so comfortable. Van de Ven looks so comfortable on the ball. Romero is not making his rash tackles. He's actually making the proper tackles like a proper defender, not sliding in. I mean, there was the first one. He made the first line tackle against. I think it was their left back. I can't remember his name. He did really. I think that shouldn't have been a foul. I'm not gonna be biased. That should have been a foul. He took his legs out, but ref didn't call it up. But that was the only kind of mistake Romero made. But other than that, the whole game, Romero and Van der Ven were just a solid wall. Like no one
And
can
it,
get past them.
and it looks like to me that Van de Ven is a completely different. No, Van de Ven's made he's made Romero a completely different player. Remember how everyone was saying, "Oh, he needs to have a old head next to him to control him." It seems like Van de Ven's given him the confidence to be a hell of a lot more calmer. He's not being rash. He's not rushing out. He's not making stupid decisions. And it seems like the whole defense line trust each other.
Yep.
Doji's bombing on all game.
Mm,
Van de Ven knows. Van is like, you go. I can cover you. I've got the pace. I've got the timing of my tackles, and that's the key thing for me for Van de Ven. His timing is Toby-esque. Remember how
mm.
Toby used to be able to just like jockey, boom, take the ball off a
Yeah.
off an
Yeah.
attacker. Exactly what Van de Ven can do. Obviously, I haven't seen him his aerial. Arsenal should have scored there. Obviously, his aerial prowess hasn't really been tested yet, and that's where I
Yeah.
think he lacked was his aerial game. But his awareness and his timing of his tackles. It's at the moment he's he's the defender. That's and the thing is, he's not doing anything fancy. He's not doing massive sliding tackles, and like King did to Robin when he was on goal. He's just making the easy tackles, the tackles that you need to make as a defender.
Yeah.
Consistent. He's consistently making tackles, covering a Doji when a Doji pushes forward. And Romero's doing the same for Porro. I'm not just going to give Van Even all the raps. Romero's doing exactly the same thing. And the thing is we have trust. And then you look at the football and the one touch, the triangles, there's players that are doing one touch. Like Perisic is doing fucking one touch passes into a Doji because he knows a Doji's making that run. Like the system's starting to really mold, and players are really starting to get a bit of chemistry and actually understand where everyone's going to be. And like I said, we're trusting each other. And I got to say, I was very skeptical when we first heard about Ange, and at Delane, I was like, no, I don't want Ange. I want Poch. I want Nagelsmann. But my God, we have a manager.
Like you can hear him on the sideline too. He's saying like, play, go, press, and I mean like you can hear it like, and this is what I mean. These Aussie coaches do not muck around. They play football, and they don't want you to play football. And but you gotta look at what Ange has done. Look how he's brought this team together. Like when we first heard of Ange, we were like, oh, here you go, Son's gonna leave, Romero's gonna leave. We thought all these players are gonna leave, but nah, they've stood by Ange and known Ange's system, and they've liked his system. And for me, I'm liking his system really well. And I gotta say it right now, Basuma is literally our new Moussa Dembele. I'm telling you, the way he turns with the ball at his feet it's a Moussa Dembele. I'm telling you, it's a Moussa Dembele turn. The way he just carries the ball, runs into the midfield, and he can pick off a pass, find Madison or find Son or find Decky. Like he did have a couple of times when he got the ball, didn't go went to that player, but other times, man, and his defensive work is just solid too. Like he's always there. He's always on the ball. He's always on that man. And he's always going for that ball. So I mean,
look, this is the Basuma that we knew we had. Context off with him. See, for me, and this is why I don't rate Conte as a world class manager. This is probably going to say that I'm wrong. People are going to say that I don't know ball. That's fine. For me, he tried to put square pegs in round holes. 95% of this team was here last year. We always said we should play a 4-3-3. Son, Kulu, Kane, Basuma. At that point was Bentancur, Højbjerg, and we were saying play Royal and play Davies, and then Langley and Dyer, or Langley and Romero. That was what we said last year. It wouldn't have been as effective, but I guarantee we would have played a lot better football. This season, and with if you have Basuma is the player that we bought from Brighton, and MVR, you literally nailed it on the head. This guy should have been 50-60 mil when we bought him. We bought him for 25 million. They're talking about Enzo Fernandez. They're talking about Declan Rice. They're talking about Caicedo. I'm telling you, Basuma is going to be in the team of the season this year. He's been probably the best midfielder. I know Madison got man of the match today because Madison was immense from what I heard. Basuma's already got 2 man of the matches out of 3. And like Madison played really well today to beat him to it. From what I'm hearing, he had another good performance again.
He had a men's performance, Madison.
I love this man. This and the energy he brings. He's very laid back. You saw him after the game against United dancing with the music. You see that they call him the DJ, where he sings and all that sort of stuff in the changing rooms. For me, he's our key. If we keep him fit this season, our midfield is going to be very, very hard to dominate. Bournemouth were getting their luck with Semenyo, one-on-one with Basuma, but that was because they were transitioning and Basuma was coming back. A few times he did lose it against Semenyo, and Semenyo did really, really well. But from what else I saw, though, there's plenty of times where he got the ball turned, got out of a tight situation, and then fed the ball forward. So you're right. Basuma is going to be one of those midfielders next year where everyone's going to be running out trying to buy him.
Yeah, I like to, and also, sorry to cut you off, but also the way we play from the back and how comfortable we are playing from the back, like it's just like wow. Like we actually feel comfortable. Like you see Poro Romero get in those spaces and just picking passes in between them, and then just get into the midfield. Like it's just crazy. Like how much we have grown as a team under Ange, and how much what Ange has done, and the system we are playing right now is actually so fucking um so good for this team, and it fits the team. It fits our players. And
Elias,
I'm
the man himself. Thoughts on Kulu? I mean, he scored a goal. It was a good little
yeah.
goal.
Hmm.
Wasn't the best either. What wasn't the best game for him though. If you know, but if he doesn't play well and scores a goal, then I'm happy. I'm happy
Yeah,
for him.
yeah,
I want him to start the next game. I said that. I've already said it. He scored a goal now. His confidence has been shot because we kept Son on the pitch because he's the golden boy. Um, and he didn't play well again today, Sonny. Better though than he did against United. Kulu got his goal. Kulu deserves to start. He got in and around the box. Looked like he was on the ball a bit more today. A little bit more aggressive. I think he should start, but I don't think he should start against Fulham. I think Solomon should start in the midweek game to give Kulu a bit of a rest and then get him back out there with Sonny up top this time and Perisic on the left, because I feel like
yeah.
that should be the three we go for with Richie being so poor. Um, but is there any players that on our side that snuck underneath the radar for UD? Because like I said, I only watched the second half. Got bit dribs and drabs to the first half. Um, the subs that came on did well for me. They controlled the game, and I didn't realize that we fielded the third youngest team in the league. And I know Arsenal fans like to use that for last year. Oh, we're going to win the league with the youngest team in history. No, you didn't, mate, because our team was younger when
Yeah.
Poch got second. But then in the second half, when we're trying to control the game and see the game out, we brought in the likes of Pierre, 28-year-old Pierre, or
Yeah.
29-year-old Pierre. We brought Perisic on, 34 years old. Lo Celso, 26. We brought in his older heads, controlled the game really, really well. Didn't give Bournemouth a sniff. Is that like, obviously it's good signs, but do you think that's the way going forward? Or do you think these players can actually integrate themselves into the first team and push?
Well, you gotta look at it. Our midfield is stacked right now. We're still missing Bentacle, He's still out. And we still got fucking Ndombele. Well, freaking, I don't know where he is in the team or whatever. So, I mean, look, our midfield is stacked. So, it's going to be hard to try and ship some of these players out, because now that what they are seeing under the Ange ball, as we say, the Ange ball, I think they're starting to really see something, and they don't want to miss out. So, I mean, for me, it's really hard to try and ship some of the midfielders out if we want to try to get younger players in. Now, for me, I really think it's hard, because I think they all want to be involved. They all want to be involved. I think the comments about Lascelles saying, there was reports saying he wanted to go, but it doesn't look like he wants to go. It looks like he wants to stay, and fight first place with Madison. So, I mean, yeah, it's. I think, yeah. So, I mean, I think some of them just want to stay just because they see something in this team, and trying to develop young players into the system. It probably would be hard, but at the same time, I think they could do a job as well for this
Well,
team.
I know people are raving about Dorrington. I know he's not a midfielder, but Envy, I did point out that we have sent, David Devine. He's out on loan. He's just been sent out on loan. Everyone thought this season would be the season that he gets pulled in.
Yeah.
Um, do you think that's a mistake sending out Devine? Looking at the system now, how we play, do you think Devine gets any game time with the likes, if we do keep the likes of Lo Celso, with Højbjerg? Because apparently I heard Atletico Madrid have to sell before they can buy Højbjerg. Yao Felix has to go. Do you think we should keep Højbjerg? For me personally, I'd rather try and ship out Ndombele. The only thing is, I think Pierre generates more money. That's the only reason why we're sending him out. He generates more money than Skip and more money than Ndombele. and probably Lo Celso as well. For me, I do want to keep Lo Celso. I think Lo Celso can do bits in the system, and I think he's a good understudy or backup to Madison. Um, but on Divine going out on loan, do you think that's going to be a mistake because we don't have anybody else to cover?
I think all or nothing. I think it could be a mistake, but then again, I don't think he'll get into the team. The likes of Madison, the Celso, even Skippy, like all these players, you got to look at it going, how's he going to fit in this team? We still got Bentancur out and injured, so for me, I
Yeah,
think it's a right decision to send him just to give him some first team football. I think it's really a smart decision. I think give him some first team football. He play. Make sure he's playing. Make sure. Well, the thing is, he's playing in the system that we are playing now, and that's what I mean. When we send players out on loan or whatever, I think Ange wants to make sure that they're going to the system that we are playing. So then, when they come back, they know the system. They know how to play the system. So
yeah,
they won't have to adjust. They won't have to go, oh, okay, I have to play this now. Where no, Ange will go, no, you know how to play this. You played that out wherever you went. You come in, you know how to play it. So I mean, it's good that we're getting some young players out on loan. Like I think Parrot's gone out on loan too. He's gone to the Dutch league. For
I think
me,
he'll
I
be
think
gone. I think he'll be gone
yeah, I
after
think
this season.
he just doesn't cut it anymore. I think Scarlett and our new striker, can't pronounce his name.
Veliz, Alejo
Liz,
Veliz.
yes,
Audio has said though, Yago Santiago, who is a young midfielder, I'm pretty sure he's a young midfielder, might get some minutes off the bench versus Fulham. Scarlett has to start with Perish and Solomon. What's your thoughts on starting Dane instead of actually putting Son onto the bench for that midweek game and actually chucking Scarlett in and giving him a go?
I wouldn't mind it, to be honest. I wouldn't mind it.
I mean, the
Uh,
kids. If the kid's good enough, he should be playing, right? It's always if they're good enough, they're old enough. Look at
exactly.
Ronaldo. You look at Rashford, the likes of Rashford, Martinelli, Saka. I'm just watching the Arsenal game. Just so you know, guys, Fulham seem to be cooking. They're
Yeah,
they're
well,
they're actually playing. That actually could be him. They're actually playing really well at the moment.
yeah.
Arsenal 1-0 down, but yeah. Do you think Scarlett should get a game? And that's the thing. It's we've got a lot of players that aren't even in and around the squad. I'm hearing the whole thing with Forster. You know, Ange just openly said that he doesn't want more than two goalkeepers.
Yeah.
So in the main squad, he wants to have more um, options outfield. So does that mean because like Austin, I think counts as a youth player, so
Yeah.
he's gonna it's and with Lloris not finding a club, the club's they might tear up his contract because I don't think he's going to get over Forster anymore, and he's definitely getting over Vicario because Vicario is the future. So, um, you know, with these players, the likes of Bentacle coming back and that, like we have so much depth right now. Um, do we start doing full rotations for cup games until we start hitting the later rounds? Because I'd like to see Scarlett start. I think Scarlett with Perisic. I think Perisic will offer him some good balls on the platter, and if he starts finishing goals, then it's good for his development, but it's good for us
I
in the
mean, if
future
he
as well.
starts, if he can finish the goal better than Richarlison, I'm all for it. To be honest, if he can score a goal before Richarlison does, then I'm all for it. To be honest, but yeah, look, I think that's a good shout out. I think Scarlett can really do something. Even for Liz, he can, maybe play in the cup. Give him a go. Apparently, if Paris does one of his high whips, I mean, he's good in the air. So I
Yeah,
mean, look, yeah, we do have some depth in this team, and I'm liking it because we've never been in this situation where we have options and we have a system most players know how to play, and they go okay, and we can rotate. We can go okay, cool. You
yeah,
can come in the middle, or something. You can go up front, Perisic on the left, Solomon, you go on the right. So I mean, we got options, and
yeah. But
and
what we
this is
need to
what I mean.
do though, and I'm going to say this right, is we need to not get too excited. We've
Yeah,
played
3 games.
Bournemouth. We drew with Brentford, who are currently 1-0 up in against Palace, and then we beat a United team that looked like they just didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah,
Um, obviously the next three games are weaker opposition, all in probably in the lower half of the league. They're going to finish. Um, for me, I want to hear this energy after the Arsenal game, the Liverpool game, the Chelsea game. Um, I'm excited from what I'm seeing. But I don't want to see people get too gassed.
Mm.
We're playing well, and let's enjoy it. I'm not saying
Mhm.
let's not enjoy it, but we've got to understand that this team is still new to Ange's system, and the real test is the teams coming up after Sheffield. If we
Mhm.
get through that, and I'm not saying we're going to win every game, but if we get through that with a couple of wins, maybe one loss and a draw, those next four games after Sheffield, I'll be happy. I'll see it'll be progress because we've got three teams that should be fighting for top four, and I think one mid-table team sprinkled in there. I can't remember the full lineup, but we still have good players coming back. We still have Fraser Forster back, goalkeeper coming back. Um, Benton Core is injured. He'll be back soon. Um,
Still got
you
Brian
know,
Hill.
Brian Hill. I think Brian Hill would do well in this system. Remember, because with Brian Hill, he likes doing the one touch. He'll come back short, touch the ball back, and then make a run. I think him and Madison would do really, really well. The one touches. He's a bit like Perisic, where he's a bit more agile, whereas Sonny's a bit more give me the ball, I want to run at defender or run in behind. But talking on Sonny, because everyone loves Sonny stats. Um, how was your eye test on him today? Because what I saw in the second half, he was making a couple of movements, but for me, Sonny's not the one touch pass player. He's the one that needs someone just to get the ball and then get him in behind. Do you think Sonny is going to be able to step up this season with the Kane gone? Because so far he hasn't scored a goal in 3 games, and he hasn't looked like he's going to score a goal from what I've seen.
Yeah, I think for me, I think Sonny. Yeah, he's not that type of player to do one touch pass. Like he'll do those ones on occasions, but most of the time he likes to get behind the defenders and he likes the likes of Madison and all that. Watch him and pick out a pass from him. So I mean, he was doing that on a couple of occasions, but I think to me, I think his speed's kind of dropped a bit.
He's definitely lost
A
a
lot of
bit of
speed.
pace. He's
Yes.
lost a bit of pace, so he's now relying on the passing, not his actual pure speed.
Yeah.
And I think that's affected his game. I don't think he's adjusted to it properly. I think
No.
he still thinks he's rapid and he's still quick. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think he's as quick as he used to be.
No, he's not as quick
You
as
got to
he
think
used to
he's
be.
31 this year as well, so he's getting
Exactly.
older.
He's getting older, and yeah, look, he's not as quick, but at the same time, yeah, he's just not as rapid as he used to be. But in saying that, I think Sonny just needs to build his confidence up a bit more now. Now he's got this leadership role. Now he's got this, he's captain of our club. He needs to start, showing why he's the captain. He needs to start showing us why he's the captain. Like after the games, he's good. Like he gets the crowd up. He gets the players come together, go clap the fans, the away fans, home fans. Like he does a good job of that. But just on the field, he's doesn't do enough. Like what he used to. He
Uh,
doesn't run the players. He doesn't run the players. He
I
doesn't.
personally think he needs to play up front. That's just I think he's better off as that second striker or that striker. When he was playing that record season with Kane, when they broke the record of most goals between the same pair, he was playing beside Kane. For me, I think he needs to do that for us. I think if we're gonna go and we are gonna look at altering the system or getting a winger in like Brendan Johnson, if we don't get Orban, I think we just stick Sonny up front. The only thing with Sonny is we don't have any aerial threat in the box. Richarlison does
That's
provide that.
That's what I mean. Sonny's not good at heading balls. He can't head a ball. Like he can't jump. He's never been prone to do that. He's always been on the end of the ball going to his feet. He's never been able to do a header. Like I've never seen him do a header. I think the only time I've seen him do one
I've
was
seen him
against
he
Burnley.
scored a couple of goals at the headers, but they're not headers that you think,
Yeah,
fuck, he's just out jumped the centre back. It's where they whip the ball in and he's in on goal and he's just headed it in.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, look, I think Sonny needs to start up front. I think he really needs to start up front. I think Richie, for then I'm going to be honest right now. For what we've seen from Richie today, is purely to show me that he is not ready to step in those shoes of Kane. He's really not and Do you think it's for me? I think it's a lot of pressure for him, but at the same time, he's got to take the.
That's a
He
good
has
one.
to.
That's a good one.
That's actually a good one, man. That's actually a good one, NBA. I think he just needs to take that pressure. He really needs to. Like he's
Well,
for
no, I
what we
think he needs to. I need to take the pressure off himself. I think what he needs to do is just focus on getting into
playing
those
this.
positions and not
Yeah,
not pressurizing himself to score every time the ball drops to him. Because
yeah,
for me, that's what's killing his game. He's a confidence player, but he's also, when he plays for Brazil, he's in and around the box. He'll do a flick up and then a bicycle kick to score a goal in the World Cup. He'll do that. There's no pressure because there is pressure, but there isn't because he was scoring goals for Brazil. He hasn't scored for us in ages. He scored 3 goals in the fucking in the
Champions League.
no 3 goals in the preseason.
Oh,
Everyone
Prem.
thought,
Yeah,
Richarlison's cooking. Nah,
yeah.
it's it's. I think once he gets one, he'll get 20. I just
This
don't think
is
he's going to get that one. Or it'll be like Sonny last season where he came on, got a hat trick. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, that's it. Richarlison's back," and then he dies in the ass again. For me,
yeah.
I
He
just
can't.
don't think that he's the guy. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, I appreciate what he brings. I love his energy. I love his aggressiveness, his grit. I just don't know if he's the guy to lead our team.
No, he's not. But I think, yeah, look, he's got big shoes to fill. Kane, now that Kane's gone, it's a lot. It's a big shoe to fill. I'm telling you right now, it's a big shoe to fill. But at the same time, he should. I think he should have known this was going to happen. When Kane leaves, he was going to be the next one to step up. So I
Yeah,
mean, he
and he
should have
was
been
bought
ready.
as the Kane replacement. Everyone said
Yes.
he's the Kane replacement.
So
So if he can't handle the pressure, then we bought the wrong player.
exactly,
Um,
exactly.
I am going to quickly run through the stats because this is about the game. So this is the third game running that we have done 500 passes um, in a
Freaking
game.
insane. It's insane.
Ridiculous the fact that it's 3 games in a row and we've actually passed the ball more than 500 times. Obviously, you can include going back, but I feel like our passes have always been kind of sideways or forward. We had
And it's just a lot to
17.
go back.
No, he doesn't. He hates it. That's why he yells play.
Yeah.
We had 17 shots to their 11, 6 on target to their 3. Possession, we had 57% possession as opposed to 42 or 57.3, but say 43%. We definitely made more tackles. It seemed like we made more clearances, so they had a lot more balls going into the box. They just didn't.
Yeah,
They just didn't finish it, which is a test. Which is an encouragement for our defense. It means that our defense handled everything that was thrown at them today.
Yeah.
And it's another clean sheet. 2 clean sheets in a row for Vicario. 6 goals in 3 games, averaging 2 goals a game at the moment. I think we've had 6 different scorers too, if I'm correct. Madison, Kulu, Sa, own goal, Romero,
and
and Emerson. So we've had 5. So for me, it's looking good under Ange. Players are getting in with different scores, and that's the thing I said to everyone: we don't have to replace Harry Kane's goals. We just have to distribute them between the team.
Yeah.
If Kulu can get 10, Richarlison gets 10, Son gets 10 this season, and then Madison gets 8 goals, 12 assists. Sprinkling a little bit of Perisic in there, I think we'll get some. We can replace Kane's goals.
Yeah, 100%.
What we can't replace is the connection he had with Sonny, and that's where I feel like Madison really needs to start developing that with Sonny. Otherwise, Sonny is going to struggle, and that's my honest opinion. I think Sonny will struggle to score because he's not. The system doesn't rely on one person scoring all the goals. When under Conte, when Kane wasn't playing well, but he was just feeding Sonny like no tomorrow. That's when he was the main man. But Audio makes a good point here. He says, I can't remember who said it, but you never want to be the replacement. You want to replace the replacement. And that, to me, is the same thing is you don't want to be the rebound guy on your ex or on the girl that you're in love with. You want to be the guy that she dates after the rebound.
Yeah.
Because the rebound guy is there. It takes all the fall, takes all the flack, has all the pressure. And then once he goes, the next guy that comes in pretty much has a clean slate.
Yeah.
Obviously, at Tottenham, the next 3 or 4 strikers are going to be compared to Harry Kane.
Yeah.
That's just a given. However, Richarlison has the biggest pressure out of everyone because he feels like he has to replace those goals. And that's the thing. Andrew Systems never had a high goal scoring striker. They don't.
No.
His goals are always spread out along the front three, sprinkle in the midfield, a couple of goals, and then maybe a couple of goals from the defenders in set pieces. So, all in all, though, it's encouraging signs here at Tottenham.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
feeling good. I'm not going into games fearful, and I'm not watching Arsenal play Fulham, and I also have the United game on in the background, and they're we handled United last week. We have Arsenal in 3 or 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
If we keep going with the momentum, we get a couple more wins. I do think we should beat Fulham midweek. We
Mm-hmm.
should beat we should win the next 3 games. That's just my opinion. Even if we rotate for the midweek, we should be winning the next 3 games. And then if we go into the Arsenal game, with 4 or 5 wins and 1 draw, and I think we can really put the pressure on. And that's a test for me is going up against Arsenal, a team that we know come second last year, should be top 4 this year. And if we go in there with an undefeated streak and they absolutely embarrass us, then the mindset of the team isn't ready. And that's what I would really want to see is if these players are willing to play Andrew's system when the odds are against us.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. I think that would be the real test. I think Fulham, Burnley, and Sheffield, they 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 should. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself, but they should definitely be a wins. No buts. They should definitely be wins. The Arsenal game, the Chelsea, the Liverpools, the Man Cities, they're gonna be the real test for us.
Mm.
And that's when Romero and Van de Ven gonna be tested to their limit.
Well, yeah,
Can they handle it?
I'm excited to see Haaland versus Van de Ven. That's going to be like I know in the air Haaland will probably beat him in the air. Like I said, I don't know how VDV goes in the air, but when it comes to foot races and getting in behind, I can't wait to see Van de Ven versus Haaland because Van de Ven's a big boy too. He kind of look like the same build, so that's going to
Yeah,
be exciting to see.
yeah, hundred
Um,
percent.
who was your man of the match? I want to get your man of the match, and guys, if you're in the comments still, let us know who your man of the match is. I know they gave it to Madison, but do you think he deserved it, or do you think anybody else should have gotten it?
Nah, I think Madison deserved it. The way he controlled the game. There was a couple of glimpses he reckon he should have laid a couple passes to Richie or Sonny to go in the back of the net. But other than that, I think he just all our performances just he did well. That cross he did to Richie, I mean Richie should have finished that in the box. He should have finished
Mm.
it. It was
I
right
didn't
on
see that
point.
first half. I'm guessing.
Yeah, he crossed. I think it was a free kick. That should have been the goal. Richie should have put the. He was in the right position, but yeah, he just headed it the wrong way. He headed to the corner. So I mean, but I don't know. I think Richie, Madison, sorry, played absolutely had a crack of a game. He deserves it 100%. And Audio did say VDV and Destiny as well had a good game, and I agree with him.
But like I said, I
Those,
think VDV and Adoji have been great in all 3 games. Haven't
hmm
really put a foot wrong. Adoji today maybe won it once or twice. He carried the ball into midfield and got dispossessed, but the guy's been fantastic on that left. Real solid defensively going forward. VDV the same, calm, composed. Times his tackles really well. Um, but look, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go Madison. From what I'm hearing, first half he was beast. Second half he was still controlling. Could have had a couple of shots if he got his feet untangled or fed Sunny through. So I'm going to say Madison. Audio says Madison, so I think the consensus is the guy is the man of the match. But I want you to tell me how important this guy is to this team because I'm going to say it. This time last season, even the season before, at the end of the 21-22 season, we were calling for Madison.
hmm
We were saying, get this guy from Leicester. They're falling. Get him. This is the guy we need. 2 years later, when we finally we have an aging son, we lose Harry Kane. Um, you know, then we go and get him. It's disgusting the fact that we've got this player now and we don't have Harry Kane sitting in front of him. Because I can guarantee you, Kane was in Richarlison's position, that would have been a goal. Last week, there's a couple of times where Richarlison should have scored. If that was Kane, goal.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think what Madison brings is that creativity in the he can pick a pass. I'm telling you, he can pick a pass. He can see a pass. He'll go for it. So I mean, and we just brought it up. He could be the signing of the season. And look, I
I
have
think
to
in the
agree
whole
with you.
EPL. I think in the
Yeah,
whole EPL. I'm
I
sorry, but
think
I don't know how teams went running. I don't know how Newcastle just like Tonali's a good player, but I don't know how Newcastle didn't go. Fuck it, we're going to chuck. We're going to give them Willock. We're going to give them, you know, whoever we've got. We give him bloody what's his name? The guy from this play for Bournemouth.
Callum Wilson.
Fraser. Is it Fraser? No, Fraser.
Yeah, Ryan Fraser. Yeah,
Ryan Fraser. Give him Fraser. Give him Willock. We'll take matters. They would have dominated this league. Well, not dominated, but they would have been up there in the top four, probably challenging for the top three spot. Madison is going to be the signing of the season. This guy is mustard. There's no way. There's no one better in this Premier League at the moment. I know. Well, Kevin De Bruyne is injured, so for me, Madison's the guy. Don't worry about Odegaard. They can have Odegaard. We've got Madison, mate.
yeah.
And it's even better because he's an Arsenal fan, apparently. I don't think he is. I think he's a United fan, to be honest. But, back in the day when he said that, his comments on about Gareth Bale.
Yeah.
But MVR has pretty much, Audio has backed it, signing of the season. MVR has said, Joe Cole has even come out and said Madison is the signing of the season. 40 mil for a proven attacking midfielder. He's 26. So he's got 3 or 4 years at least at his peak prime. Hopefully he sticks around for that too, because if we can get him rolling with the likes of Adoji, Basuma, Van der Ven and Romero, even like Porro on the right, Kulu if he finds his feet again, and we sprinkle a couple of more players in and around the squad and maybe in the midfield, we could have a team that can challenge for trophies. I'm not saying titles because I don't think we're ready for titles, but trophies definitely. Cup trophies. If we get the Europa League trophies, we have a good foundation at the moment. And with Ange Ball, it could be an exciting couple of years coming up for us.
Exactly.
Meta Football Chris, shout out Chris. I did see your message earlier. Definitely 100% matters. And MVI said Odegaard who? Well, I can tell you now, Odegaard's doing F all for bloody Arsenal at the moment. Fulham seem to be running them ragged, countering them really, really well. Arsenal are having a couple of shots, but they're not creating anything concrete. We are going to wrap this up soon, guys. Are you feeling confident for Wednesday after seeing that performance?
Yeah, well, depending on that game against Arsenal or Fulham, I mean, depends how Fulham play. If they play if they beat Arsenal, I mean, that could be worrying signs. But if we stick to our game, how we play against United, how we play against Bournemouth, then I mean, the likes of Madison, Basuma could run that midfield like no more, and plus Sarr. So I mean, I'm confident, but I'm not too confident. I don't want to get a big head and say, "Oh yeah, we could go and smash them," and then just
that's
put like
the thing
4 on us.
is our slogan here at Total Hotspurs is "Stay Spursy," but the fact is that Spursy is what we are, right? We could go and beat Arsenal. We could lose to Fulham, right? But draw to Burnley, lose to Sheffield, and then go and beat Arsenal and City and Liverpool. That's what we are. Unfortunately, we just have to wait and see. But at the moment, I'm confident in Ange. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm hoping, we've only got 4 days now, 4 full days until the end of the window. I don't see much coming in. I do see a couple are going. I don't know who's going to go, but we are going to wrap it up, guys.
Just a quick one.
I was about to say, the fans today were immense. They were immense. I heard the Ange song multiple times.
And I heard
the BDV song.
Yeah, and I heard them say, "We got Tottenham back."
Yeah, we got our Tottenham back. It honestly, it's the feeling around the club at the moment is what I haven't felt like even the last year or so for Poch. It's been that long. And it's not because the managers come out and said, "Oh yeah, we're going to win the league" and all that sort of stuff. He's gone. This is what I'm going to do. He's conducting himself with very well punctuation skills. He's saying the right things, but the thing is he's not talking shit. He's legit going, this is what I'm going to do, this is what my aims are. I'm going to go with this kind of style, and we've seen it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then so be it. I'm going to go this style. This is what the fans want. This is what I want. And he's been open and honest, and he's down to earth. And for me, the fans, the away fans and the home fans, because that stadium was rocking against United too. They're proven that they're backing it, and big up to them, because the fans can sit back and not scream and yell and sing if they choose to, but they decide to sing for the team, because we have our Tottenham back.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. We have our Tottenham back.
So, but on that note, guys, we are going to wrap it up here. Thank you to everyone that has joined. Big up yourselves. Make sure you are liking and subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Like I said, hit that bell button in the future, guys, so you can see all our future content. And we are going to be doing some big things in and around the YouTube space with other content creators, including Meta Football. But Delane, thank you very much for jumping on, mate. Appreciate it. It is now 10 to 1 in the morning, so we'll be hitting the hay. So as we always say here at Tottenham Hotspurs, guys, stay safe, take it easy, and as always, stay Spursy.
Stay Spursy, guys. Come on, you Spurs.